Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about Boros, Hammer Time, and Pioneer. I think this is going to be a really fun list. Definitely one of the more unique lists that we've ever shared here on the channel. As always, before we hop into it here, let me know at the end of the video, what do you think about the list? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change? And as always, if you have any deck suggestions that you'd like us to do on the channel here, just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to feature that in an upcoming video. So, alright, Boros Hammer Time. So, a little bit of backstory. Obviously, Hammer Time is one of the more premier decks in Modern, obviously. The main combo there is they use Sigarda's Aid and Colossus Hammer. They put it on Inkmoth Nexus, and they pretty much take out the opponent really fast. So, what's really cool is most of those cards, well, not most of them, but some of the cards that are good in Modern are in Pioneer, like Hammer itself. So, we're building we did build it. We built a Boros version of it for Pioneer. It's definitely not, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's as good, but if you like to play Hammer Time, then this is definitely the deck for you. Okay, so a little bit different than normal. Usually we start with our creatures, our non-creatures by converted mana cost. Today, we are going to be starting with the combo pieces. Why are we playing the deck? So, the heart and soul of the deck, for Colossus Hammer. It's a 1-mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. Then it has Equip 8. So, Colossus Hammer obviously is a very unique equipment in Magic in general. Obviously giving +10/+10 is crazy good, but that Equip 8, that's a very steep cost that we're almost never going to be doing. So that's why we're playing 4 Sigarda's Aid and 4 Resolute Strike to help equip the hammer onto our creatures. So Sigarda's Aid, 1-mana enchantment. You may cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach it to target creature you control. So obviously with Sigarda's Aid, we can play it on 1, turn 2. We can play one of our dudes that I'm going to show off here in a minute, and then we can flash in a hammer and equip it to the creature. So Sigarda's Aid is probably the second best card in the deck. I think it's Colossus Hammer by default, but just in case we don't have the Sigarda's Aid to equip, we also are playing 4 Resolute Strike. It's a 1-mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a warrior, you may attach an equipment you control to it. Spoiler alert, we play a lot of warriors in this deck, so it's going to be a lot easier to equip. So there's no Inkmoth Nexus, obviously, in this format. So what are we going to be putting these equipment on? Well, it's going to be these guys right here. We're playing 4 Cacophony Scamp, 4 Exuberant Fuseling, and 4 Fireblade Charger. So, functionally very similar cards. They're all basically 1/1 goblins for 1, except technically Exuberant Fuseling is a 0/1 for 1. But they are warriors that are 1 mana that all do relevant things, I would say, with equipment. So obviously the Cacophony Scamp, when it deals damage to a player, you can sacrifice it if you do Proliferate. And then when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So realistically, we could go turn 1 Cacophony Scamp, turn 2 Sigarda's Aid, Hammer, equip automatically to the Cacophony Scamp, attack for 11, and then sack it and deal damage. That is something we can do. We can get turn 2 kills with this deck in this format, which is pretty incredible. So Cacophony Scamp is the best 1-drop, but we also do have the Fireblade Charger, 1/1 for 1. If it's equipped, it has haste. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So if they do end up killing it, when it has the Colossus Hammer on top of it, it can do some relevant things. So, but they're all warriors, they're all 1/1s, that's why we're playing them in this deck. So we're going to hop into our next slide here. So these are obviously some more creatures that we have that are still fantastic for the deck. We're playing 2 Skrelv Defector Might, 1/1 for 1, legendary artifact creature Phyrexian Might with Toxic 1. It can't block. Then we can tap a white Phyrexian and tap. Choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and Hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. So kind of like the Pioneer version of Mother of Runes. If our opponent's playing a mono-color deck or has creatures of 1 mana, we can target one of our guys to basically just give it unblockable and smack him with the Colossus Hammer. So Skrelv, fantastic card to be playing. Then we're playing 3 Kemba Ka Enduring. It's a 2/2 for 1 and a white. Legendary creature Cat Cleric. Unfortunately not a warrior, but when it enters the battlefield, it or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to that creature. And then equipped creatures you control get +1/+1, and we can tap 3 white and make a 2/2 white cat creature token. So we're not playing a lot of cats. A lot of this is just, if we play like turn 1 Hammer, we can go turn 2 Kemba, trigger, we can attach our hammer to Kemba automatically, and we have a 12/12 on turn 2, which which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so Kemba is fantastic. We don't have a lot of other cats, but Lion Sash, which technically is a creature when it comes into play, is also a cat. It's a 1/1 for 2 artifact creature equipment cat. We can tap a white and exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a permanent card, put a +1/+1 counter on Lion Sash. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each 1/1 counter on Lion Sash. Then has reconfigure 2, which means we can attach it to a creature as an equipment or tap 2 to unattach from a creature. So Lion Sash, fantastic card. Spoiler alert, we also have we have cards that help us tutor out equipment. So Lion Sash is just a very powerful one, it's just a one-of card that we can tutor up if we need to with a card that we'll be showing here in just a minute. But yeah, so these are kind of like our flex cards, I would say, in the deck overall. Then I think this is it's our second to last slide. So obviously with Lauren's Escape, we need a way to help protect our creatures a little bit other than Skrelv. So we're playing 4 Lauren's Escape. 1 white instant. Target artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn, scry 1. So overall, very similar to God's Wailing. I decided to play the Lauren's Escape because we also want to protect our Colossus Hammer as well. Being able to protect our creature or the Colossus Hammer is fantastic. That's why we're playing the Lauren's Escape. Then we're playing 4 Open the Armory. 1 and a white sorcery. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. We're not playing any auras in the deck. We're just playing equipments. And so with the Open the Armory, obviously we grab the Colossus Hammer. We also can grab the Lion Sash. And as well as our next slide here in a moment, I'll kind of show the last 2 one-of equipments that we're also playing in the deck. But Open the Armory, fantastic card. It kind of reminds me of the Steel Shaper's Gift that people play in Modern, but obviously this is 1 more mana, but still pretty solid. So, last bit for our main board here, we're playing just 2 more one-of equipments. We're playing 1 Shadow Spear and 1 Hexgold Halberd, which is a new card from Phyrexia Obi-Wan. So obviously the TLDR with these is they give trample. Like, that's really the main objective of these. Obviously the Shadow Spear is a little bit better than the Hexgold Halberd, but what's really cool is when we play the Hexgold Halberd, we get a 2/2 dude and we attach it to it. So we get a 2/2 with First Strike and Trample, which is pretty sweet overall. And then if we equip it to something else, we still have a 2/2. So Hexgold Halberd is very, very good. Shadow Spear is also fantastic as well. So that's our entire main board. We're going to hop into our lands here, and then we'll hop into the sideboard. We're playing 4 Sacred Foundry, 4 Inspiring Vantage, and 2 Battlefield Forge. Nothing too crazy about these for the most part. They're just the best Pioneer dual lands we can play. Then we're playing 4 Needleverge Pathway, 1 Aganjo and 1 Sekenzan. Obviously the Aganjo and the Sekenzan, they're channel lands, they're free, we're just playing 1 of each of them. Needleverge Pathway is a really, really great untapped way to get some mana. Obviously it only makes red or white, it doesn't make both, but it is untapped colored mana, which is fantastic for the deck. Then we're playing 2 Den of the Bugbear, obviously a great man land to be playing. If we're in like a really grindy game and our opponents, we're moving out our creatures, we need some other ways to win, and Den of the Bugbear can help do that. Then we're playing 1 Mountain and 1 Plains. So as our spicy lands of the day, I decided to play I believe these are the Unhinged, Unglued. Yeah, I believe these are the Unhinged John Avon lands. These are absolutely beautiful. Honestly, some of the best basics that you can pretty much play in the game. I don't see a lot of people using these basics anymore, which is almost kind of unfortunate. I feel like this is like what the cool players used back in the day, but I don't see this a lot anymore. Let me know in the comment section below if you've got a couple of these. These lands are absolutely gorgeous. But that is our entire main board. We're going to hop into our sideboard here, and then we are going to be ready to roll. So we have 1 Jacantha as our companion. Really nothing too fancy about it. Just, sometimes we need the Jacantha to get the job done. Really enough said about that. It's obviously free to play. Then we're playing 3 Roiling Vortex, 1 in red enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Roiling Vortex deals 1 damage to them. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, Roiling Vortex deals 5 damage to that player. Then we can tap a red. Your opponents can't gain life this turn. Roiling Vortex, absolutely fantastic. Good against decks that are playing a lot of life gain. We're able to negate that, as well as also just keep chipping away at our opponent. It does deal damage to us, but honestly, that's fine. We're just able to chip away at them slowly. Like if we're playing against mid-range or control, we can bring this in. Roiling Vortex, fantastic card. Then we're playing 3 Leyline of Sanctity. It's 2 white for an enchantment. If Leyline of Sanctity is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. And we have hexproof. So two things about this. One, it's really, really great, obviously, against decks that are playing a lot of hand attack. I'm 99% sure it stops the Stone Brain if they're trying to take our Colossus Hammers away. It stops Necromentia for them naming Colossus Hammer. Overall, Leyline of Sanctity is great in a deck like this. The second thing, and this is very important, if you board in the Leyline of Sanctities from the sideboard, Giganta cannot be your companion anymore. And yes, it's absolutely worth it. If we need the Leyline of Sanctities, bring them in. It's a fantastic card. Just keep in mind that we cannot reveal Giganta if we board in the Leylines. I want that. I want everybody to understand that. You know, I really feel bad if someone was playing the side of the event and you revealed Giganta and had a Leyline your opener. That's... it's not great. So just keep that in mind if you do board in the Leylines playing this deck. Alrighty, so then we got 2 Rest in Peace here, 1 on a white enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Obviously just a staple enchantment, well not enchantment, hate, graveyard hate in the format. If you're playing white, you're most likely going to play Rest in Peace unless you're pretty much playing Greasefang. Rest in Peace, absolutely fantastic card to be playing in the deck. Then we're playing 2 Rending Volley, 1 red instant. Rending Volley can't be countered by spells or abilities. Rending Volley deals 4 damage to target blue or white creature. TLDR, we bring this against mono-white humans, and Abzan Greasefang. Obviously, we take out those Greasefangs for 1 mana. Rending Volley, just a fantastic card. I really can't say enough good things about it. It takes out blue or white creatures. If our opponent's playing blue or white creatures, we bring in the Rending Volleys. Then rounding out our sideboard, we have 2 Rip-Aparts. It's a red and white sorcery. Deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact or enchantment. Kind of similar to a Braid. It is a sorcery, but we get the option of hitting planeswalkers and also destroying enchantments, which is fantastic. So, Rip Apart, very underrated card, I would say, in Pioneer in general as a sideboard. I know it's a sorcery, but the card is just so efficient. It just does a little bit of everything. So, I'm a big fan of Rip Apart. Then rounding out our sideboard, we have 2 Obliterating Bolts. 1 in a red sorcery. Obliterating Bolt deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. Basically just extra removal if we do happen to need it, depending on the matchup. You know, you can bring it against like mono green, just because it takes out the trolls. We can throw it at planeswalkers, that kind of thing. Obliterating Bolt, just a fantastic removal spell in the format in general. So, that is our entire deck. Went through that pretty fast overall. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about the list? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Were there changes? Are there changes that you would make? Is there any decks that you'd like to see in an upcoming video? Just let me know in the comment section below. And as always, the deck list will be in the description if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Also, let me know in the comment section below if you're actually end up building the list. I think I might actually end up building this myself. It doesn't seem, you know, too pricey to build it. I already have most of the dual lands and such, so a lot of the other cards are going to be pretty cheap. So who knows, maybe I'll end up building it myself. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.